Ether Insurance is dedicated to helping the businesses and people of Baton Rouge secure affordable insurance tailored to their needs. With our curated network of insurance carriers, we provide the best solutions for home, auto, life, and business coverage. Ether Insurance, powering and protecting your world.
2020 took a toll on all of us. If you're going through a divorce or custody issue, let Dejan Law Office be by your side in 2021.
Dejan Law Office, fighting for what you deserve. 344-ANDY.
Brandon Lejean here, courtesy Buick GMC.
Call Brandon Lejean at 337-224-1867.
Come see us today, courtesy Buick GMC.
And we are live. One Team, One Podcast, coming to you live from Rev Coffee Lab at Willow Grove. You guys in the chat, let me know if you guys can hear us all right, because we're going to have some live music in the background, but I think I got the audio right. Yeah. Just want to make sure. So I see Craig Dugas already in the chat. I am here with Adam Berry, Bear Process Safety. You see the big orange bear right here on the Yep. Dude, I'm all about your logo, bro. All right, tell me what Bear Process Safety does.
All right, so Bear Process Safety.
This is going to be really boring, guys.
It's going to be a little bit boring. I'm going to start live, though, like hot. We make sure stuff doesn't blow up and release toxic gas. So we are keeping the fine people of Baton Rouge and surrounding areas
a mission
safe,
statement if I ever heard one.
That's a great cocktail explanation if anybody ever asks you what I do.
Elevator pitch,
that's right. And we do that local for the region. We do that across the country and across the world. We actually have a project in Oman starting up next month.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going.
And you were in Belgium?
We're in Belgium recently doing some work in Antwerp. Virtually. Yeah. But our folks in Antwerp.
And you're located right on Bluebonnet.
Right on Bluebonnet.
That's the craziest thing in the world.
Right across from Brewbacher's. Been there for a minute.
Right.
Right down the street here from Willow Grove. So yeah. Actually hit Rev every day on the way to work.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go, right?
Yeah, so all right, full disclosure, my wife Summer is right over here on the other side of the table. She said, skip the podcast tonight, and I want to go to Rev and get a cocktail. And I said, well, let me just call Rev. I've already come here before, and I got an old-fashioned. I did an old-fashioned review. And so I reached out to Rev and said, hey, can I just podcast from there tonight? And they said, sure, come on out. So I didn't know we were going to have live music over here too, but it's all good. It's a vibe right now. So
just
yeah.
Serenading us. She's killing it.
It is. She's killing it right
She's
now.
killing the game. Yeah.
She said, oh, am I good? Okay.
Yeah.
So also, I've come here and done an old-fashioned review. Rev lost to Stabs in the first round in the Sweet 16.
That's respectable.
I am just got done with the Sweet 16, and I'm just now on to the Elite 8. So I'm going to be going back to all these places again that won, and we're going to be moving on to the next round. But I will tell you guys this. This was a 4 seed. They had just opened. I had it before. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
You're a fan, right?
I'm a fan of everything Rev. I'll tell you, look. Every other day we come here in the morning, get some coffee. They got great breakfast. Lunch is killing the game. It's a light lunch, but it's good sandwiches. And then they got killer drinks at night. You really can't beat it.
Yeah, they have good cocktails.
Cocktails.
I just wanted to make sure people understood that they have a really good cocktail list.
Because you see Rev Coffee Lab and you think, okay, good coffee. Great, I'm going to hit that in the morning. But really, they're doing everything awesome here. I know it sounds like I work for Rev. I don't.
Yeah,
but they
sounds
are
like you have stock.
They are good. Maybe they'll let me buy some.
All right, full list of what we're going to talk about today. First of all, the episode is called March Sadness. It has taken me this long to get over the basketball game on Monday. I don't know what it was, but I was so in it.
Right.
And I don't know why it's taken me this long to get over a basketball game, because it's not normal for me, but I was invested. And I am just now over it. I'm starting my transition into baseball, which I already kind of knew what was going on, but we're going to talk a little bit about baseball as well. And then we're going to also talk about spring football.
Okay. Great.
Coach O has come out, and Coach O likes to talk. Coach O likes to say stuff that most coaches would not ever utter. And he does it, though. He's like, look, I'm going to be fully honest with you. I went to the bathroom 5 times today. And I don't know if we need to know that.
No.
It's TMI.
Sometimes it's okay. But but this past week we got some good ones.
So also this kind of like came out again. This is their cycle. Sports Illustrated likes to come out with more Will Wade articles.
Right.
This came out about 30 minutes before the podcast.
All right.
Pat Forty came out with another article that said, hey, just letting everybody know, the FBI investigation is still open and ongoing. That was his tweet. I responded and I said, the probe in your ass is still open and ongoing as well. And I tagged Pat Forty. So we already have a comment in the chat from Kevin Font. Are you Pat Forty's source? No, I am not.
Not Pat Forty.
Confirmed. Not. That's right.
Hey, we've got some breaking news. Matt is still not Pat Forty's source.
I am still not the source. No. So, all right, let's get to the basketball game.
Okay.
I had a T-shirt that came out that said Will Wade versus the world versus everybody.
And it's what it felt like. It felt like
versus all y'all.
Just I don't understand. I don't know what Will tells them in the handshake line, but they just
people hate Will Wade.
They hate Will Wade. And
so I think that's what got me though on this one was that I was so like, okay, it's everybody against LSU on this, and I want LSU just to stick it in them. And there was a couple of bad calls in the game that I felt like, okay, that it looks like they don't want LSU to win. But I was trying not to be that guy. Right. But there was a couple of plays in the game that were really pivotal. And one of them was Cam Thomas driving in the lane. He throws up a shot and he makes it. Should be an and one. They call an offensive foul on Cam Thomas. They go back and they score immediately, and it's a 5-point swing.
Yeah.
Things like that in a close game against a really good team, because Michigan is a really good team, killed me.
I know
absolutely crushed
exactly what play you were talking about, and it definitely swung the momentum. I think what got me is watching the beginning of that game. Cam's on fire. We are the more athletic team, and I think even after this game, I think we're the more athletic team. Now, I say Michigan was the better team? Yes.
I do.
Mean, they
think they were the better team.
They were a better team. But you could see early that, man, if we give them our best game tonight and a couple things break our way, we can win the game. And I think that's what, at the end, when it's kind of fading, that's why it was hitting so hard that it was like, man, I thought at the end of the day, I don't think Dickinson was that skilled, but he's big. He's a big guy to handle.
He's a freshman.
And we did our best. I mean, I'll commend the coaching staff. I thought they had a decent plan for what they had. Yeah. I mean, Darius can't guard him. No. Christian can't guard him. So they tried to press down and make the other guys beat you, and those guys hit shots. I mean, I'll give them credit. A kid who's averaging 15 points a game hits 5 3-pointers.
He hits like 30. He hits 30 points.
Yeah, I mean that was. They said, "Hey, you're going to have to beat us. We're not going to let Dickinson beat us," and they did. They hit shots.
Yeah, and one of the concerning things with me, I tweeted this at halftime. We played a very good first half. We didn't close the first half out, and we have a problem with closing out halves. But we played a very good first half, and we were down by 1.
Yes,
and that's what was concerning. Was like, okay,
and we
this is a very good team.
Should have been down by more. Really.
A team like that knows how to win a game, whether if they play bad or not, and that was what was the mark of that. But sorry, so now in my mind, I'm trying to get over this loss. I'm thinking about even next year too. I'm looking at the roster for next year. I see Darius Days put on his Instagram that thank you LSU, and it was like one of those kind of
he's outie.
All right, well then that means
I think Javante's gone, and I think
Javante,
Cameron's
Cam,
gone, and
Watford, and Days are all gone.
Right.
Days is a guy, and I've had plenty of chat, and Craig knows this, in a Facebook group about Days coming back. Days, to me, has always reminded me of a Draymond Green role. And Draymond Green, if you followed his college career, he took it to another level in his senior year, and I wanted that same kind of thing where Days is the guy, Days develops his game, he can turn into a guy like that. And I got a lot of bullshit on a Facebook group about that. But
and I think this is really what's happening there. Is I don't know if his camp believes he can get there.
Right.
And I think they're saying, okay, well, hey, this is what it is. Let's try to go D-League route. Let's try to get a check in Europe.
Where are you going?
Or G-League, sorry.
You're not NBA.
Right.
I mean, it's...
And I think it's really... I understand the Draymond comparison. And, he shoots pretty good. He's got the same body type. He would really have to work on his defense. I think that's...
ball handling,
and
I think.
Ball handling. But I don't... I
Draymond defensively is at another level.
New to the podcast.
You're good. You knocked it over. You're good.
All right.
But so I was hoping a guy like that would come back and be a veteran presence, and we're missing those guys that just stay 4 years.
Yeah.
That need to stay 4 years. Honestly, Tremont Waters, and this is Jack always gets mad. He rolls his eyes when I say this. Tremont Waters left his sophomore year. He got drafted in the second round.
Right.
It took him 2 years to get to an NBA bench. So now he's on the bench in the NBA. What would have happened if he would have stayed?
Right.
And say he's averaging 25 points a game in college.
I think you get drafted a little higher. And the thing about the NBA
and you get a guaranteed contract.
They
guarantee first round pick.
Right. I mean, I know this is going to be – it's a no-brainer that Cam is going to go.
Yeah.
But he would be a lottery pick if he came back. He's not going to be a lottery pick. He's going to be a late first rounder. He's going to –
And he's the only guy that can tell you that will be a first round pick.
Right, for sure. And I mean, same thing with Christian Trenton. I'm
Christian Wofford,
screwing those up. Trenton, just doesn't have really the ball handling quite ability. I mean, he tries to work that point forward role, but I don't think it's really smooth enough to be next level there. Now, a bench player, like I said, G League route, maybe get a 12-day contract, go Garrett Temple route. Like I think a guy
like Trenton can make a team. Kind of like Naz Reid. Reid was a second round guy. He made the team. And that's another one where I'm like, dude, if you're not 100% that you're going to be a first round pick, I don't know what you're doing. And I know a lot of these guys, they go into college thinking that I'm only going to be there for 1 year, and they don't really want to go to class. And that's another aspect to it. Emmett Williams left after his sophomore year, and it was more of like, hey, I'm going to support my family. And he knew he was going to overseas when he did it. That's at least you have a solid plan.
Right.
And he was probably looking at it like, am I going to get a first round pick in the NBA? If not, let me just go.
Yeah. Right.
That might be what Darius is thinking too. I'm not quite sure.
I think so. I think his camp is telling him, hey, we're probably maxed out where we're going to be. So let's go play where we can play pro. And if we can prove something, we'll get signed to a 12-day or something, and we can make a team. Or we make a Euro career of it. And I mean, that's we want to play pro ball somewhere. I agree.
Right.
Because I would say max ceiling, maybe if he had a killer year, he sneaks in the first round, but he's still probably a second round prospect.
I agree.
Now he might not be a drafted prospect this year, but that's about the same. I mean, that's you're not getting a whole lot of benefit there.
So, all right. So the next thing I wanted to kind of do is shift my gears emotionally and all that into baseball. And one of the things I had been doing during baseball season is I was making some really killer T-shirts. And I don't know if anybody's been following me on Twitter and Instagram, things like that. I've been making some T-shirts that were selling pretty well. And I kind of knew this was going to happen, but LSU came and put the smackdown on me this week. I got another cease and desist from LSU. There was a Cruise Missile shirt.
Cruise Missile, love it.
And I had Dylan Cruz on the podcast last week. I'm sure that was to raise some flags as well, because I had Dylan Cruz on the podcast and it didn't go through LSU. Knew that was going to happen. The next thing is I had Teach Me How to Doty instead of Teach Me How to Dougie.
Genius.
I think Kate Doty's family got involved with this, and they ended up buying like 60 T-shirts over a weekend. I even sold a onesie that had teach me how to Dougie on it, or teach me how to Dodie on it.
Nice.
Well, LSU came down, put the smack down on me. I can't sell those T-shirts anymore. I had to take them all down.
So that should be a lesson to everybody listening. If you see a post and you love the shirt, get it while it's hot.
You better get it.
You never know.
If I post a T-shirt,
we could be discontinued.
Yes, and so when LSU reached out to me, they just basically said, "Hey Matt," like not "Hey One Team One Podcast."
He's on a
"Hey,
first
Matt."
name basis now.
They knew who I was, and I said, "Hey, I'll take care of this. I'll take it down right now." And they said, "Appreciate it, Matt." So they know who I am.
That's right.
I guess that was the whole point of this. But what
it
I've
was
done
a
now,
humble brag is what the whole point
what
of
I've done
this
now is I've switched all of my merch to oneteamonepodcast.com. I've added some new T-shirts and what was the hopefully I don't get sued.
Oh yeah,
but
don't get sued.
That was going to be a new T-shirt design. We talked about that before the podcast. Don't get sued in purple and gold. That's kind of what I'm going to.
Really, we can all
my MO.
We can all live by those rules.
Yeah, we can
don't
yeah.
get sued.
Absolutely. So
unless you can win.
So that was some baseball shirts that I was doing. The baseball team seemed to be excited about it as well. Dylan Cruz came on the podcast. We talked to him a good bit before the Mississippi State series. And the big news for baseball came out today. It was on Off the Bench, where Paul Maneri said they're switching Jaden Hill and Landon Marceau. So Marceau's going to be your Friday night guy, and Hill's going to be your Saturday night guy. And my questions are, first of all, it doesn't even matter if you don't score runs on Friday and Saturday night.
Right.
If you come up against quality pitching staff in the SEC, and we had Ben McDonald on a couple of weeks ago who said this exact thing, that the SEC is completely stacked with pitching staffs. So if you're not going to be able to score any runs against those dominant pitchers, it really doesn't matter who you throw out there on Friday and Saturday night.
Well, and I think this was predictable because Jaden's got the stuff, right? He has the stuff. It's about consistency, right? And you saw this in years past. You think about Jared Poche being moved to Friday, right?
Right.
Marceau's a more consistent arm. He's going to throw strikes. You know what you're going to get. He's dependable, right? And to be honest a little bit, it's happened when we've struggled with the bats. Not that we're conceding the Friday, but we're almost saying, hey, I'm going to throw my most dependable guy on Friday.
Right.
You're probably going to beat us. But my guy on Saturday is going to have the stuff. And if we sneak one on Friday, then I've won the series.
Well, all right. Okay. So the biggest example that I've been saying this from the beginning of the season, Vanderbilt rolls into town next weekend.
Yeah. You might pitch Jaden on Sunday.
Well, that was my question. That was whenever I saw that on, I was off, or somebody tweeted it this morning. I think it was Jock tweeted it this morning. What I said was, hey, one team, one podcast.
One team, one podcast. That's
LSU.
Right.
LSU. Yes.
No.
We got a live request from
it was the wonderful singing crew.
That's right.
Going on here. Killing the game.
One podcast. That's right. So anyway, what I was going to was Vanderbilt's going to roll into town. Mm-hmm. They got Kumar Rocker, who's going to come in. He threw it. All right, last weekend he threw a 2-hitter against South Carolina.
Yeah, too bad he wasn't lighter.
Well, okay, 9 innings shutout, 2-hitter. The next day, Jack Leiter rolls in as their Saturday, their number 2 guy. Mm-hmm. No hitter, 9 innings, 16 strikeouts.
Yeah,
they didn't use one relief pitcher for 2 days, and I don't even know who their 7-day guy is. Poor soul. But those 2 guys, they're talking about Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter. We don't even know what order, but they're going to be 1 and 2 in the draft coming out.
And I just don't. I mean, it's a tough thing because, we talked about this week. Hill. I mean, he didn't pitch bad this week. He just
no.
I mean,
he
worked into the 8th. I mean,
neither does Marceau.
No.
And neither one of them can get run production off of good pitchers. It's the problem, and it all goes back to your. All right, so we've been critical in this podcast about Dylan Cruz being leadoff. I don't get it. I hadn't gotten it from the beginning. Dylan Cruz even came on and said, "I don't mind it. That's fine." But I need to score runs as much as possible to score runs. And if that means you move this guy to a 3-hole and you get some guys on, I don't care who it is, get some guys on base in front of this guy. There is no reason why he should hit 5 home runs and only have 6 RBI. Like, that's ridiculous.
I agree. And the thing I will say, though, like I said, I feel like I'm a little bit of a broken record here. We have enough years of PM to know some things that happen, right? We're going to have a move during the middle of the season with the starting pitching. We're going to start the season, whether it be Alex Bregman, whether it be Mikey Matuk, whether it be Dylan Cruz, we're going to have our best hitter hitting leadoff for some reason.
Right.
And we're going to have, this year, not so much, but in years past, we're going to have a position player who's the best defensive player on the field who couldn't hit sand if he fell off a camel. Like, it's going to be batting 034 the whole year. And so.
Milazzo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just what happens. It's just, So
what I didn't like is that you had Dylan Cruz batting leadoff and you had Milazzo batting ninth, an automatic out. And poor guy. I mean, he's a fantastic catcher, defensive catcher, and all that. But you got to have run production in this league.
Right.
You're going to have to score at least more than one run
and
to
I
win.
used to like what he would do is if he got a poor hitter there, he would move him to the 8th spot, move a little bit better hitter to the 9th, and kind of have that double leadoff position there.
Right.
Now, I don't know.
I agree.
Who fills that role on this team, but
I think it was Gio Giacomo, and I think now that he's hurt, I think that's a problem.
Right.
But moving him to a 3-hole like they did on Sunday, I think it opens up all these options, and I think it gives this team a little bit more confidence that you're going to have a guy, you're going to have a 3 and a 4 hitter. So you're going to have Cruz and you're going to have Doty, 3 and 4. Try to pitch around Cruz now.
Right. Exactly.
See what happens. You got a guy like Trey Morgan who's been hitting really well at a leadoff. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that 1 through 5, really, because you got Dugas at 5. He's really a true cleanup hitter, in my opinion. But I like that. Shuffle it up a little bit. You got to score runs. At the end of the day, you got to score runs.
Well,
it really doesn't matter who you pitch if you don't score any runs.
We'll see how well they do this weekend in terms of. They're still playing a good team, a good Tennessee team.
Right.
But I mean, see if.
Well, they don't have the pitching.
They don't have the
Mississippi
pitching that
State
State had, or
Right,
Vanderbilt's going to have. So we'll see if we can
get some
get some runs. Yeah, and I thought you saw that on Sunday.
I did too.
Hit the ball well.
Even though it wasn't Cruz getting the runs done, I just think it gives this team a little bit more mojo.
Do you feel like the team is living a little bit on the long ball?
A little bit. I think strikeouts are an issue. It's going to be all season. That's just kind of what they're doing right now. You could see it early in the season, and then when I saw Mississippi State was going to roll into town, wait till next weekend. I'm just telling everybody, all right, what you need this weekend, you need a sweep.
Right.
You got to sweep Tennessee because here's the deal. You just lost 2 out of 3 to Mississippi State. You're going to lose at least 2 out of 3 to Vanderbilt. I guaranteed. I'm just telling you right now, you're guaranteed you're going to lose 2 out of 3 to Vanderbilt.
Right.
So you need a sweep this weekend, period. If you want to stay in this thing, you want to stay for the long haul, you got to sweep.
I agree.
You can't get behind and lose a game.
Well, and the thing is, I think this year, it's similar to what we were having last year. We just didn't get to see the whole season. This is probably a 2-seed, 3-seed team.
I think so too.
Right.
And here's my problem: is that everybody's loaded this year,
right,
especially in the SEC. Every SEC team is loaded, and the reason why is because of COVID. And guys didn't go to the draft. Extra guys got extra eligibility as well. So there's some seniors that are still on the roster. There are some guys that didn't go to the major league draft that should have. Dylan Cruz,
right?
He should be in a He should be in a minor league team right now, not at LSU, and he would have in a normal year. All those factors go into you have an uber loaded roster. When I start comparing our uber loaded roster to other teams' uber loaded rosters, it doesn't match up.
I agree. I think it seems like we say this often, but I really feel it. I feel like next year this is a run producing team.
Yeah,
with a little bit of age and a little bit of experience.
In 2 years, you have Cruz, you have Morgan, you're going to have a really stacked offensive lineup, but they're young.
Right.
And I don't know how they're going to be able to stack up to these monster pitching staffs. Ole Miss is another one. And Ben McDonald was talking about them. They're just they're going to mow you down. So it's going to be interesting to see with baseball. I just want everybody to make sure that they have good expectations because I knew this kind of going in. I could sense it a little bit.
I feel if this team is a 2-seed somewhere, I think that's a win.
I think hosting a regional would be huge.
Would be
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
No, but if they hosted a regional, I think that would exceed expectations.
I agree.
Just based on what we've seen so far. I mean, they have the talent, but like you said, they're going up against teams that not only have the talent, they have the experience. They've been there before, And like you said, the comparison is just, it's not quite as good.
Right.
I mean, it's not a.
All right. So other big stuff going on. We got Tennessee. We're going to be playing. The other things that are going on. Yes, I would love another old fashioned. My wife just pointed at the old fashioned. She's like, "Do you want another one?" Of course I do, honey. The other things going on are spring football. There she is in the camera shot.
There she is.
That's the lady that makes it all happen.
Summer.
So anyway, spring football is in full effect right now.
Right.
Full disclosure as well, I reached out to Durante Jones about being on the podcast. He said, not right now. Give me a little bit of time, maybe after spring football is over.
Loving coach.
And I said, no problem, D. No problem, bro. I got you.
He's loving the pod.
He is loving the podcast. He will be judging an old-fashioned review soon, too.
Sweet.
I talked to him about going to Stabs and Oliver Twist is in the second round, and that's going to be a really good one, a really tough battle. And he said he would like to do that. I'm gonna see if I can coax him into that.
You might save Coach D for a little championship round.
I would like to do that too, but I don't know if that's going to work. So I just got a text for another sponsorship for the podcast. So
Wonderful.
Right there.
Wonderful.
All right, so
they want to come on and chat it up as well.
Yeah, they want to come on too. I literally just got a text about a sponsorship for the podcast. So all right, Coach O came out. He had a press conference on Tuesday talking about his mistakes from last year.
Some of them, because if he would have talked about all of them, man, we'd have been there for a while.
All right. So, yeah, and I'm sure you guys that are watching, I'm sure you know about this, but I'll recap it anyway. So Coach O basically says, yeah, I didn't interview the hires last year, some of the assistant hires last year, and I'll never make that mistake again. This is the way he said it. And he's been
fool me once.
He's been getting crushed for this comment. First of all, Coach O is so open and honest to the media, but the problem is that he is too open and honest for the media sometimes, and he likes to tell everybody everything that he shouldn't be talking about. But anyway, he comes out and he says what he says. He's been getting crushed about, look, you shouldn't be getting a full pass for O is an oversharer. I'm an oversharer too, so I can't judge. No, but you don't also get paid $7 million a year, and you're not on a press conference. I think that's the difference, Garrett.
I don't know if I got paid $7 million, I might share a lot.
Well, that's the problem, though, is that we knew O had a lot of problems last year,
right?
And honestly, and I'll just say this: it started right after he got divorced. And right after his wife left, or however that went down, he checked out for a good 3 to 4 months here. They hired people they shouldn't have hired. He really just didn't do his due diligence on things. He was not detail-oriented at all. He was getting caught with photos of himself with a blonde-haired woman that we've all seen. There's stuff like that that was just rampant last year. And so none of this is surprising. What we don't need to do is rehash it again. We don't need to talk about it anymore. You need to zip it up. It's a whole new year. Let's start fresh. We don't need to know what we already knew. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. I mean, I'm sure there will be I'm sure it's not the end though. I'm sure there'll be a conversation later in the year and we'll be talking about Coach Jones. And we'll say, yeah, he's not going to have our guys not practice coverages during the week, because last year we really sucked at that. I'm sure there'll be more things that come up to say, yeah, these guys are going to be much better on offense. They're not going to try to run the 1985 Dallas Cowboys offense. But
honestly, I don't even need to know. So last year, a couple other comments were our defense is way better than anything that we had last year, the championship year.
Right.
That was bullcrap. Right. So we don't need to hear any more of these outrageous statements anymore to hype you up your coaching staff.
I think it would be a little bit of a well-welcomed thing to have a little bit of coach speak this year. Just when you ask the question, how's the team doing? They're doing good. Guys are working hard.
You can be open and honest about injuries and things like that
Right.
that you've been open and honest about. But you don't need to say every single little piece of information.
I mean, we've kind of seen this from the beginning. If it's from the Nick Brissett wasn't supposed to be in the game comment.
No. Nick Brissett is we have a lot of good running back. Well, a lot of great running backs.
A lot of great running backs.
Good, but
good
not
one.
great.
Yeah.
I think that was what he said.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of great ones. We got some good
Nick
ones.
Brissett is good, but not great.
Yeah. You know,
What?
we've seen this through the years.
Who says that?
Comments that just
Well,
I don't get it.
We're coming off
you know.
of Les Miles, who was the gaff machine, what
Isn't that? Ugh, it's a little more now.
it's even worse now.
Coming off of Les
that you think
Miles.
about it. So we're coming off of that. We need somebody that can rein it in a little bit, and I don't need more of this from somebody else. And honestly, Coach O is he's somebody that people like to make fun of.
Right.
And he needs to stop giving people reasons for that.
Well, and this is my thing about Coach O, right? You can see when things are going well. Okay, I'm going to thumb my nose at everybody who thought I was an idiot and I'm great. And people here, I will say this about him. He is a likable person. People get behind him, okay,
right.
Especially in the community. And that's a great thing.
Well, in Louisiana.
Right, in Louisiana, right? And I think in some instances, maybe, when it's not going so good, I mean, you don't have to do as much damage control. Just kind of say, hey, guys, we're trying to get better.
I agree.
And we're working on it. And, I mean, with this year, what all things do you have this year? You got a full offensive line coming back.
Yep.
You got a quarterback room with 4 quarterbacks experience.
Yep.
You got experience coming back on your defense. You hired some great coordinators. Why are we focusing on comments like that?
And guys, let me just tell y'all, I've met Durante Jones. I've texted with Durante Jones. And of course, I have an affinity for bourbon, and of course, he does too. I've gotten Durante. I texted with Taylor Calandro at Calandro's. Durante has reached out to Taylor, and they have connected. He's hooked him up. He's gotten his bourbon. So there's a whole bourbon community thing that I'm wrapping my arms around a little bit. Of course, we have the Durante Jones Bourbon Club. But let me just tell you this. That guy is a cool-ass guy. And the first thing that I think about when I think of Durante Jones is that he is going to reach the look at Jack Haas has joined us from New Orleans.
Got him.
So, all right. So what we were talking about Durante Jones, he's going to be able to reach his players.
I agree.
He will be able to reach these players way more than anybody did last year. I love the Andre Carter hire for defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be able to do the same thing. Guys like Blake Baker are kind of in your face kind of guys. I just love that from this team right here.
I think we were all hinging on the fact that last year's hires were going to be what we got before, and we were kind of just playing we know this name. This will be good.
Yeah.
I think we looked at every hire this offseason and said, man, that's actually a really good hire. Instead of, we weren't feeling like, I felt like last year we were trusting the process. We were saying, Linehan's had his problems, but I mean, hey, I'm going to trust, we just got off a championship. This is going to work.
And one of the comments that he did make in this press conference that I liked was, Durante Jones was our 4th or 5th choice, but who cares? So was I. I loved that comment.
Right.
But you don't have to say all the other bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know about you not interviewing. I kind of already heard that.
Right.
I've also heard that his interviews this year were shit. So I've heard that too. I don't need to know any of that. Let's move on. And hopefully it's Pete's and it's Mangus that can kind of take control of the offense. You had old guys running it this year. You had young guys running it this year.
What are you excited? What are you looking for? I mean, I know you don't get a lot out of camp, but
it's not all of Louisiana behind O, what Garrett says. Ooh, yikes.
So in terms of, what we got going into spring, do you think we come out of spring and you've got at least 2 guys in the quarterback race and somebody's leaving? Is that what you see happening?
I see it's going to be Max Johnson and Miles Brennan. I don't see dude, TJ Finley's got a fucking cannon. A cannon for an arm.
Man.
I keep watching some film on him, like just in spring practice, and the way he flicks the ball, it is Jamarcus Russell-esque, and it is amazing to watch. I just don't know if he's going to be able to surpass a guy like
So I
Johnson.
think what's working against him is I think Brennan's gonna get at least a spot, and really for Brennan, like, why am I gonna transfer? Right, I'm the senior
Brennan?
guy.
Oh,
right,
I
okay,
don't think Brennan's transferring.
right. So then you're looking at Max and you're looking at TJ. Right, I think TJ is a more talented quarterback. I heard Brad Johnson talk, and was that on what podcast was that on? What was
that was on Jordy.
He was on Jordy's show, right?
Yeah.
And I heard him, and you could tell he's instilled his qualities, because Brad Johnson by no means had a cannon for an arm, right?
Right.
Super Bowl winning quarterback is wanted on defense, but also made smart decisions. He was poised with the ball. He knew his role. And he was talking about how those are important things, right? Those are all things we see in Max. Max can move the ball a little bit. And I think what's going to be very hard for the coaching staff is to say, this guy played 2 games. He started 2 games, and he won both games. In games we shouldn't have won, right?
Yeah.
So it's not TJ's fault. I think TJ's more talented, but I think the perception is going to say, like, you're probably third. Okay.
Yeah,
and Nussmeier's going to obviously stay. So
yeah,
I agree with you. I think he's going to be the transfer. And I'm a little bit, I don't know how I feel about it, because I think he's potentially got some of the best talent of all of them.
I think TJ's the odd man out. I agree. I think if it wasn't for Florida and Ole Miss,
I agree.
It would have been a different story.
Let's say if you don't win Florida and Ole Miss, Max Johnson is transferring.
What if you don't win Florida? If you don't win the Florida game?
But I'm saying you don't win. I'm saying your boy don't throw a shoe.
Oh,
you don't win the game.
Right.
I'm saying Kayshawn doesn't go off
against Ole Miss.
Against Ole Miss, right? You don't win those games. Those aren't W's. It's a paradigm shift to me, and I think Max is the odd man out.
I mean, the things that we heard, if Florida would have came and like cleaned our clock, there was going to be a massive
you wouldn't have anything to worry about.
I mean, it would be all the way to the top.
Right. So, I mean, that's interesting to watch. I don't know what's going to happen with the running back room.
That goes, what I just said, though, goes all the way back to what we started this with, was the Coach O lack of detail from the beginning of last year. It's very well established, and everybody knows what was going on, and he was checked out, and it was so bad that it got to a point at the end of the season that he needed to win back the program, or it might have been even worse. Scott Woodward was in his office, just letting you guys know.
Yeah.
So, like, that was the stuff that was happening. But, man.
I think that it'll be interesting, because I think whoever you have back there, right, you've got the O-line back. I think you're going to have a better defense. A lot of the issues we had last year is we're pressing, because we can't stop a nosebleed, Bart Scott. We can't stop anybody,
That's
right?
Can't wait.
So, okay, what's TJ doing? Man, I got to throw a touchdown every time I touch the ball. Right? I mean, we took him out in the Auburn game, right? Yeah. I mean, that's not his fault. Hits the guy in the helmet. But it's like, well, we're pressing, so we got to do something different, right? Yeah. Well, once we took him out, like, we had no shot of winning that. I mean, we didn't have a shot with him, but, okay, now you're going to throw Max in a situation that he didn't prepare for.
Right.
And we have no game plan. And it's like, okay, we're just making a move just to make a move.
Yep.
That's the thing that was really baffling to me last year and I understand people are gonna be like, well, yeah, you lost the offensive coordinator and the defense coordinator, right? But for a staff, you still had a lot of staff members back. Mm-hmm. For a staff that pushed all the right buttons the year before, it seemed like every button you could press last year, that was the wrong one.
Yeah.
You pressed it.
Right.
And it's like, what are we going to do in the middle of the game? We're getting burnt. Just switch to a zone we didn't even practice. Yeah. Just go ahead and that's fine.
How about this Darren Evans kid? We hadn't seen him play yet.
I mean, Jesus. Poor Darren Evans. Been on the team for 5 days. And they're like, hey, kid, go ahead and play man-to-man out there and taught you a single scheme, but you'll be fine. Don't worry. We're getting pressure on the end with Allie Gay. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
So those comments were a little disheartening. But I am very optimistic about this football season.
I agree.
And I think we're going to be able to score a lot of points. And we're going to be able to get back to the offense that we were running in 2019, because it did change. And whatever anybody says, it doesn't matter to me, but it changed. but you'll also be able to have some sort of defensive
Right.
game plan.
I
and it was
think-
like completely lost.
I think the thing that's worrisome a little bit is it went back to what you and Jack mentioned at the beginning of the season.
Ooh, that looks good.
It does look good.
What is that? Just an iced coffee?
It's got a little latte,
Iced latte.
little milk in it or something, right?
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah,
just
he
trying to
needed some
wake up.
coffee. He's trying to wake it up.
I think it. I'm gonna say Jack said it. I'm gonna say you didn't say it. I'm gonna say Jack was smart. Y'all said at the beginning of the season last year is the first time it hits trouble with this offense. We'll see what happens, right? I mean, we reverted. We did.
Absolutely.
I mean, we went back to that Arkansas.
It wasn't like terrible.
That
It was
Arkansas-
actually pretty good.
Whew,
It was just
I don't know. That Arkansas game was tough. Tough to watch.
defense. The defense was so bad that it.
I agree, but okay, this is the
Texas
thing that I'm
A&M
saying,
was terrible.
but if this is your, I guess I'm two schools of thought right there. Okay, are you changing the program, or are you going to say, well, I got to change midseason to try to win the game? Well, that's great, but then you don't have an identity going into this year of what you're trying to do. And I am optimistic about this year because I think you've got talent coming back, you've got better coaching, right?
Yeah.
But this team, I mean, we just said it. We think the offense is going to go back to what it was. We don't really know because to be honest, the end of last year, I mean, Butte had a great game against Florida. We really were kind of smash mouth. We controlled the ball, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to go back to that? I don't know.
I don't think you are.
And you think because of the hires?
I think they're honestly no. I think it goes back to, and Coach O has been he's been talking about this a lot. I think it goes back to a formula, and me and Jack talk about this all the time. Like there was a formula for 2019, and the formula is you have the offense that you had with Joe Brady and Joe Burrow. Obviously, you're not going to be able to replace the Joe Burrow part, but you can run that same offense again. You can't replace Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You can't replace any of that. But you had a formula of an offensive attack that set records and was the best offense in the history of college football. You also have a formula for defense under Dave Aranda, and I think that's what their hires were trying to get them back to. Was it doesn't have to be the best defense in the world. It can be slightly aggressive, but it also just held guys in check.
Right.
Where all we need is a defense that can hold them in check if you have an offense that can put up the points and the production that we had in 2019. It's good, huh?
I agree.
Yes. This place is fantastic, guys. You got to come to Rev Coffee.
It's wonderful. I also, side note, will say it was a really good week for me. Because
of gambling.
No.
Oh.
No. I was kind of so weak. Mr. F the King Alexander this week.
How do we not have this on the agenda?
He got fired, and it could have not have happened to a worse prick on the planet.
Oh, my God.
I love to loathe that man. He is.
All right, what stories do you have for F King? Do you have some stories about F King? Because I've heard some stories about F King.
I don't have. So this is just what for those of you, a lot of you guys don't know me. I hate pretentious people who are not that talented.
Okay.
If you're talented, be a jerk. If you suck, be humble. Okay. Worst president that we have had at LSU. Every time I went to a graduation, an event, I had to hear about how we got no money, we got no plan. Well, hey, bruh, you're running the university. What are you doing about it? Okay? Every time we had a hire, we had a scandal, man, everybody really sucked in that leadership group. You're running the leadership group. What are you talking about? And all along the way, I saw him one day. I was leaving an eye appointment, and I saw him in front of me, and I just thought I could do everyone a favor right here.
Just take
him out, just bust a kneecap. I don't know. I don't know what I could do. But I didn't do it. Oregon State did it.
Our friend Blake sent me a text about a story.
The worst.
About I think Blake was helping some kids move in and out of a dorm. It was like a youth pastor, so he was helping kids moving in and out of the dorm.
I do have a funny story.
All right, so F King walks up and helps somebody move like a bed,
a plant,
something into like I don't know if it was out of a truck. He was just like helping like pick it up, and somebody was there to take a picture of it. And then right after they took a picture of it, he turned around and he left. And they were like, Dude, you just did that for the
So-
photo?
So what I do love, and I'm not a parent, but this will speak.
Talking about F. King Alexander for people that just
Yeah, I'm not a parent, but this will speak to parents.
Okay.
When I left the eye appointment, he was in front of me, right? 5 paces in front of him was his daughter. And I could see how much she hated him. Like, I could see in her face, like,
She was just like rolling her
this
eyes.
dude is awful. And I was like, yes. I was like, yes, your own family doesn't even like you. That's right. Nobody likes you. I mean, in all seriousness, the guy took the opportunity to really say how terrible he thought the entire state of Louisiana, the entire system was for a system that he was running. I don't understand. I mean, this person wanted to be in the cabinet position for Secretary of Education for the United States of America.
Yeah.
And he is telling me that he can't make Jim Bernhardt figure it out. It's like, okay, bro. Like, okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, Anyway,
or
that's
Richard Lipsey.
Richard Lipsey. The guy, I mean,
Um,
so that was an aside, but I don't know if anybody else celebrated like me, but I was happy about
Jordy had a great story about it on his show this past week, and he was talking about
it. Shout out, Jordy.
Yeah, shout out Jordy. He was talking about and Jack knows this because he was at this game, the LSU Vanderbilt game, when Will Wade was on leave, suspended.
Gotcha.
Jordy told this story this past week about F. King, and it was right when F. King was resigned.
They accepted.
So Joe Oliva and F. King both come down, and they're sitting in their spots before the game. Everybody's like, Joe must go, Joe must go. And they both sit in separate spots. They're in 2 different areas of the arena. And Joe sits down, and Joe Oliva looks over at F. King Alexander and says, like, see, I fucking told you this was going to happen if we let our basketball coach go.
And I was at that game, and I saw the interaction that he's talking about.
Okay.
And it was a smug, kind of like,
told you.
You see?
I told you this was going to happen.
Right.
And it goes back to, okay, how much Joe Oliva has his own faults, but how much control did Joe Oliva really have?
Does he have his own faults?
I think he does.
Is he just the scapegoat?
I think he is not a closer at all.
Right.
I think he lets people walk all over him on certain decisions. And on this one was one where he was letting F. King
we've seen the
make
documents.
the decision for him.
We've seen the documents now, but I mean, we didn't think at the time the Texas A&M we're going to keep less was a Joe Oliva thing. Right? I mean, that's all the way. That's an F. King situation for optics. And, obviously a terrible decision, especially what we know now. How do you make that decision? But, So, that was an aside, but it was celebratory. It was a good week. No matter what else happened in my week, that made it worth it. Okay, that was about it. So,
I'm taking a picture for my new advertiser. I'm going to tell him, hey, look, you texted me during an actual podcast.
That's right.
And I will go ahead and
give him the Rocky there.
I'm going to go ahead and
tell
everybody right now. This is Relief Pools. Ben Landry with Relief Pools.
I know Ben
is going to be our new. You know Ben, right?
I know Ben.
I'm going to have breakfast with Ben tomorrow.
All right.
But I'm going to let him know, hey, I'm actually podcasting.
See if he can give me a discounted pool.
I said the same thing. I said, hey, we could make a new podcast that is called the Hot Tub Podcast. And basically, we're in a hot tub.
This idea is going crazy already.
I told Ben this earlier today that I have a lot of ideas.
He's an ideas guy.
I'm an idea guy. And you can tell me if you don't like it or not. That's fine. But I'm going to always have a new idea. And my new idea was a hot tub podcast. You build me a hot tub, and we will have a hot tub podcast sponsored by Relief Pools. And it would be a new guest each week coming into my hot tub, and we'll interview him. Kind of like the Kevin Hart in the ice bath. You know that, right? Ice bath. What's that called? Huh?
I don't know what it's called. I know you're talking about that.
Yeah, so same thing, but a new guy comes in, Durante Jones. I'm talking to you, Durante.
I don't know if I love this vibe. I don't know if I love the.
Hey, Durante, can you take your shirt off and get the podcast?
This has got a little bit of
an
edgy vibe, right?
I am edgy. I'm on the
I know. That's a call out. That's a call out.
Inappropriate is what my wife says.
A little bit.
Okay, so let's take a quick break, and what I'll do, Adam, if you don't mind, I'm going to switch you out.
That's fine. I got
Jackson.
one last thing to say.
Go ahead.
At the break. We were talking about Bear. I got to give one more plug.
Go
this
ahead.
week we hired, past 2 weeks, we hired 2 new employees. One of them is heading up a mechanical integrity department, inspections. Anybody industry out there, it's something we weren't doing before. Okay, we're doing it now. If you've got some cracks, you got some leaks, you got some things happening at your plant, you don't know what's happening. This guy's also a certified metallurgist, has been 35 years in industry.
Okay.
He's building our program, so Bear's improving their staff.
This is the oldest person you have employed.
Oldest person I got employed by a minute, but a lot of wisdom. That's what we're saying. A lot of wisdom in those years. So fits to the
Perfect.
team great though.
BearPS.com.
BearPS.com. Check us out. You can call us. We have what's called the Panda Plan. Okay,
Oh, I like it.
Because pandas,
The Panda Plan.
pandas don't hibernate. I don't know if you knew that. We don't sleep on safety. All
Oh,
right. So
these guys.
So you give us a call. We come try us out on a
Hey,
small
I appreciate
project.
that. I'm
right?
a marketing guy.
Right.
I appreciate that.
We do better than just logos. All right. and yeah, I appreciate you having me on. And we'll
Absolutely,
we'll get the real
buddy.
star
We
on the
appreciate you coming on. Yeah, so you're an aficionado of Rev, so I definitely wanted to have you here for that. And then what we'll do is we'll go to commercial real fast, and then we'll slide Bear out here, and we'll move Jack in. And what I wanted to do, Jack, is I want to talk about LSU basketball and where do we go from here for next year. How about that? So we'll go to a commercial real quick. You guys stay with us. Get your questions in right now. And appreciate the Bear for stopping by.
Love it. Bro.
Ether Insurance is dedicated to helping the businesses and people of Baton Rouge secure affordable insurance tailored to their needs. With our curated network of insurance carriers, we provide the best solutions for home, auto, life, and business coverage. Ether Insurance, powering and protecting your world.
2020 took a toll on all of us. If you're going through a divorce or custody issue, let Dejan Law Office be by your side in 2021.
Dejan Law Office, fighting for what you deserve. 344-ANDY.
Brandon Lejean here, courtesy Buick GMC.
Call Brandon Lejean at 337-224-1867.
Come see us today, courtesy Buick GMC.
All right, we are back, guys. I'm here joined with Jack. Jack just came in from NOLA.
Yeah.
So how was NOLA?
It was fine.
You had a 2-day deal?
Yeah, we went, me and Sarah went yesterday around 3.
We
after
went to
school.
NOLA last weekend
Yeah.
and had a great time, but we were around Magazine. I don't know where y'all were. You were y'all in the quarter?
We stayed right across the street from the Canal Mall.
Okay.
It's a fairly new hotel. It's called 111.
111?
It's right across from the Canal Mall, and
then you went to the quarter?
we didn't really go to the quarter too much. We went and ate at Merrill last night.
Okay.
It was good. It was
Yeah.
very good. It was the first time I'd been.
But yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of places I'm trying to get to New Orleans, but I was wanting to wait until it opened back up a little bit more because everybody's restricted hours and stuff.
Yeah, no,
Dude,
that's
went
the worst.
We went into Lush. All right, you know Lush? It's
Yeah.
like the soap place on
Oh,
Magazine.
here? Oh, no. The one on Magazine. Yeah.
All right.
No, the one here, the Lush here is also like crazy.
All right, so it must be corporate.
Yeah,
What
it
they
is.
do is they make you walk in.
Wash your hands.
You have to wash your hands with their soap.
That's the same one in Baton Rouge.
Dude.
They do the same thing here.
Some of my friends would have came in and they would have said, "Yeah, fuck you, I ain't doing that."
I hated it at first, but then when I washed my hands, I was like,
Oh,
this
this smells good.
It's like the nicest
And then
soap I've ever
and then
had.
I was like, I did that. I did the same thing. I washed my hands and I was like, that smells good.
All right, new
I'm gonna
bracket. Soap bracket.
Soap bracket.
Let's do it. Hand sanitizer
all right,
bracket.
So I've been talking to people about new brackets. We're on our old-fashioned bracket challenge. I am in the Sweet 16. I just finished the Sweet 16. It took me a while. Almost got divorced because of it.
Nice.
But I'm now into the Elite 8. So we're about to round out our Elite 8 review, and I'm gonna post all of the Sweet 16s tomorrow.
All right, which ones have you not been to yet?
I've been to all of them.
Oh, you've
now.
been to all of them. Okay.
But now I have to start going back to them again and doing the matchups.
Right.
For the Elite Eight. So
Okay.
it's about to get real.
When
like
we get
as Ben McDonald would say, it's about to get real.
When we get to the week of the Final Four, are we just gonna like do like a big night for each game?
Fucking right. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right.
I got to figure out who wants to be a guest. I mean, we need guests to come on and do this. Let's do it upright. All right.
Again, talking to you, Durante.
Yeah, Durante. I've texted you every fucking day, Durante. I know you see them. No, he's been really cool with me. Durante is. I gave him some T-shirts. They didn't fit, and I'll have some other T-shirts that I'm ready to give him.
He probably got to Louisiana, gained a few pounds.
I'll ask him that. That's a great question. Now that
Most people
he's
that's
from
what,
Louisiana. Though.
I mean, we saw what happened to Zion when he got to Louisiana.
That's right. He
gained,
got fat.
Gained like 50 pounds.
Miles Brennan's just now figuring this out.
Yep.
Craig Dugas says, I'm thirsty. It looks like it's a Pappy's kind of night. Wait, then he says Pappy's and Diet Dr. Check. Craig.
What in the world?
You said Pappy's with a Z. Is this off-brand Pappy's? Come on. Don't be doing me like that. So you know my feelings on this. All right. So let's talk about
I don't even know what this is.
Pappy's like Pappy Van Winkle, like very expensive bourbon, and he's gonna mix it with soda. You don't do that. Like,
it's horrible.
Yeah, he knows that. He's just fucking with me. All right, so let's talk about LSU basketball.
Yeah.
The name of the episode is March Sadness.
Right.
It's taken me this long to get over the game.
It took me a day.
It took me
It took me about 12 hours.
It took me a couple of days.
Good.
Here's the reason why is because it was everybody versus this basketball team.
Yeah.
And the LSU versus the world t-shirt that they made was apropos. It was perfect for what was really happening. But we made the Will Wade versus all y'all t-shirts. Same thing. This game had a little bit of that.
Yeah.
The Michigan game where there were some calls that were really terrible.
Yeah.
The one that we mentioned earlier in the podcast was Cam Thomas driving down the lane,
charge? Holy
calling
shit.
a charge
that's a terrible call.
on Cam Thomas. A 3-point play that ended up with Michigan on the next possession going down and scoring a layup.
Yeah.
So it was a 5-point swing.
Yeah.
Those are things that change a game, especially when you're playing
right.
a
And
team
then
like
I
Michigan.
actually saw somebody that said like, oh, well, I mean, that's only one play. You lost by 8. But
Yes.
that play would have got us to 3.
It was a momentum killer.
Yeah, exactly.
And those are the things that I was just taking away from that game. Was like, man, that was just tough.
Man,
very tough game.
The goddamn theme of March. I mean, I know we've been playing very well in March, but throughout the month of March, Cam Thomas has just gotten 0 calls. Got 0 calls. It's over now.
Yeah, it's over now. It's dead. He's never coming back again.
Yeah, it's over.
So it's taken me this long to kind of get over that. There were some calls, but at the end of the day, Michigan was a better team than us, and they were going to be better at closing out halves than we were. And I think that was the point of the game. Was we actually played a decent first half. We didn't.
I thought we played a great first half.
I did too. And we were still down by 1.
I was shocked when we got to the half and we were losing. I was like,
yes, it didn't feel like we were losing.
I feel like we
right?
should be up 10. Right
exactly.
now. Yeah.
And I think that was the problem. Was that that's a sign of a very good team when you're as far as Michigan goes. Like you're able to basically be outplayed but still come up ahead.
Right. Okay, this was a weird thing. When I was watching the game, did you feel like they were out rebounding us? Did it feel that way to you?
Yeah.
We actually
out rebounded them.
We actually out rebounded them. When I saw that stat, I was like, that's impossible.
But was that because
we had 10 offensive rebounds, they had 5. We had 3 turnovers, they had 12.
But what was their field goal percentage?
50. And ours was like
exactly
a little under 40.
That's why.
That was the big thing.
They're making their shots, and we are not. Especially in the second half.
Stat.
The second half, they were making all their shots.
We had 17 more field goal attempts than them, and they had 1 more field goal make than us.
Yeah. So it was very misleading.
So when that happens, it's just it's brutal. And part of the reason that we had less field goal makes is because we had a lot of fouls that they didn't call, and they count as field goal misses because they weren't called as fouls.
Right. So I think Michigan's actually a very good team.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They're
top 5 team in the country.
I didn't think they were.
I think that was lost on a lot of people.
But I didn't think they were going to be as good as they were. I don't know why it was, but maybe I didn't see enough.
I think
Michigan
the Livers
basketball.
thing was slightly over talked about.
Correct.
And a lot of people were saying that he was the best player on their team. I actually didn't agree with that. He's maybe their second or third.
We talked about Dickinson as a freshman. This kid's a 7'1" freshman.
I didn't realize he's a freshman. Oh my god! That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah. And so,
we're
all right,
triple teaming the kid.
Right, now let's get to the next topic, which is, all right, who's sticking around? And from what we think, it's going to be the guys leaving are going to be Cam, obviously.
It's the top 4 guys.
Trendon, Smart, and now Days on his Instagram sounds like he's leaving.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at too. I got this feeling that we can turn Days around just because he shouldn't go pro.
Yeah.
So there's that going on. So maybe there's the best selling point to him. He's the only one that I just don't see getting drafted in any world. The other 3, I actually think they probably will all get drafted.
I don't think so.
I think Cam and Trendon, I think, are definitely going to get drafted. Actually, Javonte is going to be.
I agree with that.
Javonte is going to be fringe draft. I tend to think that he'll be drafted, but it's like 60-40 for me. So it's not. I'm not like a lock for
Javonte.
That. Yeah. I just think the way he shot this year, I think, is gonna. And he's long and he's fast and he's very athletic. He's good enough on defense.
Yeah.
I think someone will take a shot on him late in the second.
I don't know.
So
to me, it depends on if they're able to do combines this year, and I think they're
they
going
will.
to be able
They
to
will.
now.
Yeah, and they kind of had the combine last year, but you remember they did Zoom combines or whatever. I remember seeing videos of Skylar Mays in an open gym or something. It was weird.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to have a legit combine this year. Just the way things are going in certain states and stuff.
All right. Well, let's talk about
what's returning.
Days. If Days leaves,
right.
Then what we have left, we're talking about Cook.
Your leading scorer, returning scorer is Andre Hyatt.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
We actually like Andre Hyatt. He played very well in the tournament, but
he had
he's
a great
not a
March.
He is a role player,
Yes.
and he shouldn't be a starter.
Yeah. He's at very best a 6th man.
So we have Cook, point guard, and I think it's not debatable at this point, right?
Not debatable? I think he could be coming off the bench for sure.
You do?
Yeah, I think Gaines is probably ahead of him right now.
As a point guard? Or would you
Yes.
have Gaines as an off guard?
I'd probably have him as a point guard because he can't shoot.
So then we will be talking about new guys for a guard position.
Yeah.
You have Brandon Murray.
I don't know if Brandon Murray really plays this year.
I don't think so either. I don't think he's as touted as you need.
I think Jalen Cook is probably the first guy off the bench, actually.
Okay.
I think, what's his name? Colbert.
He's 6'9".
I think he's a starter.
Okay.
I think he's a day 1 starter even.
Hello.
Pizza.
You got a pizza.
All right. I think he's a day 1 starter. I actually think this transfer, Seneca Knight, I think I'm butchering that name. I think he's a day 1. 6'7" is what I saw.
Okay.
6'7", like 215.
So is
he averaged 17 points a game.
Is he a guard forward? How do
Shooting
we know?
guard.
Shooting guard.
Yeah.
That's a tall shooting guard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the last 15 games that he played for San Jose State, he was averaging 23 points a game.
Okay.
He had one game where he dropped 40.
So,
they lost because they suck, but
yeah,
they're a horrible team. That's why he left.
Look, production as far as offensively, that's kind of what you're going to be missing with these Cam and all that stuff. So I think that's perfect.
That's the biggest question on this team next year is who's the scorer?
Right.
Who is the guy?
So,
and I think you got a couple guys who could step into that, but no one's going to match Cam or Trendon.
Alex Fudge coming in.
Fudge, that was the name I forgot.
So, all right. So let's take a look at this. If you want to take Gaines, say Gaines is your your point guard, and you have a guy like Seneca Wright that'll be your shooting guard. You're going to have a forward. You can you can say Hyatt if you want.
I think Hyatt's probably the guy start the season.
You got Josh LeBlanc. He's not a small forward. He's
Josh LeBlanc has to come off the bench too because he can't score.
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean?
I think he's good enough to where you need to play him.
I don't know about that. I think his offensive game is just so bad.
I like this.
Okay.
You have. I get with you. I understand what you're saying with Colbert. Gaines,
Colbert's
right.
ready.
Gaines, right. Fudge, LeBlanc, Colbert. I like
Gaines,
that 5.
right.
Fudge,
LeBlanc.
Colbert. And you're
Yeah, I
long,
can
you're
get behind
long,
that.
athletic. You're going to
no, I
really
actually-
need to count on Fudge, and you're going to need to count on Colbert to be able to score.
I wrote down somewhere because actually on Tuesday I was like, I told you it took me 12 hours to get over the game.
Yeah.
I think at noon on Tuesday I started like writing down like what was going to be our starting lineup for the next season. That's when I remembered like who Alex Fudge is. Alex Fudge is really good.
Yes.
Man, I watched his high school tape and I was like, holy shit, how did I forget about
and he
this
can
guy?
score.
Yeah.
And I think it's a combo in the college game that can be
He reminds
very
me
good.
of like a poor man's Brandon Ingram, which is still very good.
Yes, absolutely.
He can shoot. He can shoot pretty good.
So yeah, I was worried about especially with Days leaving, what it was going to look like. Man, a Days coming back, and I know I was told Bear this. I got a lot of shit about Days on a Facebook group, and I compared him to Draymond Green.
Yeah,
and it's more about if he comes back, say he develops his game to become like a 15 and 9 guy. Draymond Green, his senior year, averaged 16 and 10. It's not like crazy numbers.
Yeah. Right.
But a guy like that can kind of come in and develop his game a little bit and like take over.
Yeah. Well, he just needs to learn how to play the 3. Yeah. And he can't do that.
He can't
do that yet.
Well, to me, it's like ball handling. He needs to do that a little bit more. He
exactly.
can already shoot.
That's my point. He needs to learn how to play wing.
Yeah, he knows how to shoot, and these are things that he's going to need to develop anyway for the next level.
Exactly.
Is he needs to be able to create his own shot. He needs to be able to drive. He needs to be able to have some better ball handling. He can already shoot. Like it's not crazy to me.
I don't think
to
it
think
is.
that he can get to that level.
I don't think it is. And he's a good defender too.
Yeah.
Because you think about it. Yeah, he probably got beat a lot this year. So maybe his defense wasn't exactly showing all the way, but he was constantly guarding guys that were way bigger than him.
Yeah.
Because, he's only 6'6", 6'7".
Right.
He's guarding these 6'10", 6'11" guys, and I know that's exactly what Draymond Green does, but
this is
he doesn't have to be Draymond Green to make it in the NBA.
Say he came back. All right? Say he came back. My lineup changes to Gaines, Wright, Days as your small forward, LeBlanc, Colbert.
I think I'd still go Fudge over LeBlanc.
Oh, you're right.
And I think you
you're
can play
fine.
Days and
as long
Fudge
as Days,
like a 3/4. They're
as
both
long
like
as
3/4,
Days comes
right?
back out, and Days can be your guy. It doesn't have to go down in the paint and guard somebody.
Right.
That's his game.
Yeah,
like that's where he needs to be.
I agree with that. And another guy that we didn't even mention yet is Bradley Azuero.
Coming out. Yeah.
Man, he looks really good too. I didn't realize how athletic he is.
We're not. Who else we're not talking about is Mwani Wilkinson. I don't know what kind.
Mwani. That's who I was trying to.
There's
remember.
These are guys that are. Mwani Wilkinson as a freshman is put together, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he
and our boy Josh Gray.
Man, Josh Gray season.
He's got to make it. He's got to make it in there somewhere. I feel
Gray's going to have to do something at some point in his career.
Right.
So
I
he's
think
7 foot for crying out loud.
Gray and Colbert could turn this team into like a good defensive team.
Gray's got a lot of work to do.
He does. But like we've said all year, all I want is like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not asking for.
He's 7 foot tall.
Yeah, I'm not asking
so
for
valuable.
Gray to be your 20 to 30 minute guy or anything like that. I just need some quality minutes out of the 7-footer who's athletic. For crying out loud, can we not get 7? How great would it have been if we had a 7-footer who was athletic playing most of the year, and then you get to a Michigan where you had to play this Dickinson kid, and you got a guy who can match up with him. For crying out loud, like that would be fantastic.
Right.
All right, let's Jack. I know you reached us late, but let's wrap it up here.
Oh man,
I know you just got here. I know. Rev Coffee, guys, we appreciate them letting us come out here tonight. We're over here, Bistro Byron's. We're in Willow Grove. There's what's it? Is it Pizza Byron's is what it's called now. I forgot what it was called. But Pizza Byron's. We just got some pizza over here too. Come check these guys out. They're doing great cocktails and coffee over here.
It's a cool atmosphere.
It's fantastic.
You got some live music.
Yeah, live
nice.
music over here. I was afraid that was going to blast us out, but it wasn't. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
We appreciate them. We appreciate the Bear from stopping by, Bear Process Safety. And really big thanks out to our sponsors. We have Courtesy Buick GMC, Brandon Lejean. So you saw his commercial earlier. Ether Insurance, Bear Process Safety, of course, and then Bogey's Bar here in Baton Rouge. And then our new sponsor that we just got during the podcast, Relief Pools, Ben Landry at Relief Pools. I'm going to see him tomorrow morning for breakfast, and he wants to be a part of it. So we appreciate all of our sponsors for helping us out. Little podcast that could. One Team, One Podcast. So also, guys, check out our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And also check out our YouTube page. Subscribe if you can. I know a lot of people are watching on Facebook right now. But if you check out our YouTube page, subscribe if you can. I would like to build that up a little bit more. And also our website, oneteamonepodcast.com. I've just switched over the entire merch page. So we got a whole bunch of new cool T-shirts on there for One Team, One Podcast that I will not get sued about. We talked about that earlier also, Jack. Try not to get sued by LSU anymore. That'd be the second time that I've gotten a cease and desist from LSU. So hopefully these new shirts are all kosher and we don't have to do that anymore. And even the new website said, hey, can you try not to get us sued? I said, sure. Yeah, sure. You got it.
There was that one shirt that you put up recently. It was with like the lady doing the finger gun.
Yeah, the gas.
Yeah, the gas.
You're afraid of somebody in the background?
Well, yeah, I just saw like the first thing I saw was
the
side of John Emery's face, and I was like,
is it John Emery?
I was like, everyone else had graduated, but I just saw the side of John Emery's face, and I was
I've darkened
maybe
it
they
up.
won't see
I've
it.
darkened up the image enough, so maybe they won't see it. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, who knows? They might take it down.
Yeah,
Go get it now if you can. That's what we're telling everybody for the Teach Me How to Do.
Is there like
shirts.
a strike 3 thing? Like what happens after a
I don't
third
know,
cease and desist?
but they have my name now. They just
I love how I saw
they
the
just
email
emailed
that
me
just
and they
said,
said, "Hey Matt,
"Hey,
can you please take this down?"
I didn't know whether to be like happy that they did that I wasn't on the radar or like offended.
Yeah, they don't know your
that
name
like
at all.
they didn't even give a fuck
They're
about
just like,
me,
"Hey
you know?
Matt,
You know.
hey, yeah, you're on our list up here." I think I have a wanted poster of me at the top of the LSU list. All right, guys, we appreciate it. We appreciate Rev Coffee. Appreciate all of our sponsors for reaching out. And again, it is One Team, One Podcast.
Logan out.